Hello everyone and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we're taking a look at the Micromaster 10-pack from Transformers Siege War for Cybertron Trilogy. Now most of these are repaints of figures that we already have, but these two down here are actually repaints of a 2-pack that hasn't been released yet. So that's actually kind of cool. So it's our first look at those two figures. As you can see, it is comprised of Autobots and Decepticons. We get 6 Autobots and 4 Decepticons because each team creates a weapon, so they kind of have to come in sets of 2, so that's why it can't be half and half. But if we take a look on the side, it shows off the names: Road Police and Wheel Blaze, Ground Shaker and Over Air, Recon and Iron Tread. And then over on this side, we have Crater Maker and Fire Lane, Sly Hopper, and Night Flight. Not too much going on the bottom, not really anything going on the top. Spin around to the back, and it shows you who is who, and you can see they all combine to form a weapon. We actually get 2 versions of the 2 jets that we've already had. These 2 we've already had, but then like I said, these 2 are kind of new. We will eventually get a 2-pack with different paint schemes for these 2 guys. And of course all the weapons can be held by any Siege figure. So very cool. I'm excited for this. More Micromasters is always a good time as I knock it over. So let's get these guys out of the packaging and we'll take a closer look. So here are the 10 new Micromasters out of the packaging. I have to say that they look good. I love the array of colors that we have going on here. I'm going to go through them in groups of 2, their individual teams, so we can show the combinations and everything. But I wanted to do a quick little group shot first. Altogether, I think they look really great. So we'll take a look at the 2 new molds first. Here we have Iron Tread and Recon. The robot modes are okay, but they both have huge kibble problems. I really wish Recon's, like, the top of the car here could fold down onto the back, but it really can't. So, unfortunately, they both just kind of have a ton of kibble hanging off the back there. But otherwise, I think the paint looks good. Silver on the chest, orange on the face, little pop of orange on the shoulders. You have a little bit of silver there for the windows, which is continued all the way through the vehicle mode, which is really neat. Articulation, ball joint in the shoulder, ball joint in the hip, and then you have a bend for the knee, which is really for the transformation. But so transformation is very simple. You peg the legs together. Why isn't it? There we go. I was gonna say, I promise it does happen. Then you're going to spin the waist 180 degrees, and then kind of fold this up to form the back of the car. Mine does not want to stay together too well, unfortunately. I don't know if that's something over time that'll get better. We'll see how that goes. This drops down, and then you just kind of peg the arms underneath. So very simple, but yeah, mine does not like to stay together. There we go. So he's a cool little SUV. Rolls fairly well. I do appreciate that they painted the majority of the windows. Obviously, they could have painted these windows back here as well, but I feel like they got the windows that really matter. So there he is. Love the Autobot symbol on the hood as well. Very cool. So here is Iron Tread. He is a big rig. Articulation has kind of a limited ball joint in the shoulder here, and then a ball joint in the hip. And he has, yeah, he does have knees. Oops, and I just popped off one of the wheels, so be careful about that. Should peg back in. There we go. But yeah, they're all very stiff, I have to say, which I guess is good. But yeah, there we go. He's got knee bends. So transformation, very simple. You're going to kind of bend these down because you can see these 2 pegs here. You need to make sure you clear them as you spin that around, and then they kind of pop in here, and then you just peg the legs together, peg the arms into the legs. They have a tiny little tab on the inner arm which fits into that tab slot there on the hip, and then this just comes down. And there you go. That is the truck mode. Doesn't look bad. Again, like the Autobot symbol on the hood. I think the colors are neat. I love that this is painted orange back here, and this is all painted black, which is very nice, because I'm assuming it's all molded in yellow, and then they painted this a nice shiny black and silver. So he's got great paint. I mean, the face looks good. Red face, silver chest and head. He's got some really nice paint applications, so I do appreciate that. He also rolls decently. So I do like the little vehicle modes. I wish he held together a little bit better. But what are you going to do? They do have a combined blaster mode. This is actually pretty cool. So you lift this up, and you have to flip out the handle, which is a little bit easier said than done. There we go. Take the arms away from the legs, and then you want to kind of bring these down so that you can split these apart. And then you'll see that they have little cannons on the inside of his legs, which you pop out. Then you peg this all back together and push this back down. So it's pretty much just the truck with a handle and the cannons. But I could see even just having a robot just hold this as a gun. I think that could be somewhat successful. This guy, you take the legs down, kind of move the arms out to the side, and then you just kind of push these up like this and then put the arms back, because he's got, like, I guess barrels molded into the bottom of his feet. And then you pop down the handle there, and then you're supposed to peg this into here, which it's kind of a tight fit. There we go. And then you kind of bring this down like that. So that's kind of a jumbled mess. Most of the weapon modes for the Micromasters are, I have to be honest. I think the swords are really the only ones that are somewhat convincing. But here you go. This is the jumbled mess of a blaster. Now, like I said, you could kind of use these individually, and I think they'd be a little bit more successful if you just kind of left this up like this and had that as a gun. And I definitely think this one, because it has the pop-out barrels, is decent as a gun by itself. But just having them sit on top of each other, I don't know. It doesn't really do anything for me. I don't get these guys for the weapon modes. I like the Micromaster aspect. But pop that back in there. I do really like the vehicle modes for both. I just wish this one held together a little better. And maybe over time it will, like if I leave it pegged in for a while. There we go. Maybe that'll stay. Maybe. So yeah, they're pretty cool. Oops, gotta fold that back in. I just wish he held together a little better, but I like the truck a lot. I think Iron Tread's pretty cool. Alright, next up we have Road Police and Wheel Blaze. Definitely weird names for some of these, I have to admit. But I think Road Police looks pretty good. Again, like the paint on the head. Chest is very nice. Have a little bit of paint there on kind of the crotch plate. Now the head on this does swivel from side to side. Ball joint in the shoulder. Ball joint in the hip. And then he does have knees. I have to say that when I was transforming him from vehicle mode into robot mode, the ball joints on the legs pop incredibly easily. So, I mean, they pop right back on, which is nice. But I almost couldn't transform him without just taking the legs off and then folding the knees out. He just wasn't having it. But yeah, transformation. Spin that around. Peg the legs into each other. Bring the arm in. And I think it's because of how the arms connect is why it was giving me so much trouble. See what I'm saying? They just kind of come off when you try to spin the knees out. I don't know, is it easier to put the arms in first? Probably. There we go. It really shouldn't be that big a deal, but peg the legs together, bring this down. Yep, there we go. It's popping off again. So just be wary. I mean, it's not a problem. Like, it always pops right back on, but it is annoying. And then there we go. Here is the little cop car mode. I think it looks pretty good. Nicely painted. Again, you have the nice black Autobot symbol. Looks great. Light bars. I don't know why they painted these windows blue and these windows black, but I appreciate that they painted them all. Yeah, I don't know. It says police here on the back. Rolls pretty well. Next up, Wheel Blaze. I don't know why they painted his head all one color. I wish they would have painted his face a different color, but I do like the two different colors of blue on the chest, and I think the yellow and the blue work well together. So there is that. I'm going to flip this out because it makes it easier to get it out of the way. Going to peg the feet together, pull these things out. Then you have to spin these around, and these slide under like this. And then you kind of rock the arms up like this so they're close to the body. And there you go. You have the fire engine. It's not bad. It's alright. As you can see, this can move up and down, can fold back in if you want. There you go. So here are the two vehicle modes. They look pretty good. I actually like the yellow. I think it's a weird choice for a fire engine. Actually, I guess some fire engines are yellow, aren't they? But very bright, very fun, so I do like that aspect of it. They, of course, do have a combined weapon mode. So you take this guy and flip his legs, and I'll show you what I mean about trying to transform this without popping the legs off. It's pretty near impossible. See, there you go. Just come off. That one in particular. Then you peg these back together, and then you kind of pop this off. I think you put this up like this, if I'm not mistaken. This guy, have to pull this out so we can get that back up again. Move these out of the way. Then you have to take these out so that you can spin this around. And then these will come up, and you'll see that there are two tiny little pegs on his chest that these will peg into. At least they're supposed to. I guess that's pegged in. And then you peg this into this. I think that's right. That can't be right. Hold on a second. Let me double check the directions here. So unfortunately, no, I was right the first time. That is what... I think these go back towards the... See, these really don't peg in like they're supposed to. And I think these are supposed to go back closer to the body. And then you can see that the notches kind of fit in there. So that's a little better. It's a little bit more solid. Still really goofy. I guess this is supposed to be... Because I think these like effect pieces will pop into here. So that's like the barrel of the gun. But still kind of goofy in my opinion. Once again, I think you could just take this, flip this out like this, and just use this as a gun. Even kind of bring that up a little bit, and I think that would be a little bit more successful. But yeah, again, the combined weapon modes are not the best. They really haven't been for pretty much this whole line. And I hate having to jam these back under here. I really do. I don't know why those have to be so long. I guess to try to shore it up in the other mode. But pop this back on here. There we So yeah, there we go. And these guys don't have team names. At least they're not listed in the directions. But that is Road Police and Wheelblaze. So last up for the Autobots, we have Ground Shaker and Over Air, which are not the best names, but these guys do look cool. Again, I love the two different color greens. I think this is supposed to be... There was a green jet that came with that kind of red and blue Micromaster base back in the day. I think this guy is supposed to be him, but I could be wrong. But either way, the face is painted very nicely. Love the two different tones of green. Got some silver there. The black all works really well. I think they did an excellent job with this guy. Ball joint in the shoulder, ball joint in the hip. You have some ankle tilt really just for the transformation. And then you have knees. So this guy's good. I like this guy a lot. I'm going to pop the legs down. You can leave the head if you want. You can rotate it back like that. I'm going to choose to do that just because we'll need to do it later for the combined mode. Fold the wings down. This just rotates and rocks forward, and then the legs kind of peg into the bottom of that. And then the arms do have tiny little tabs which go into those tab spots on the wings. There we go. So yeah, here is the jet mode. I like it a lot. Love the paint over here, the silver and the yellow. Autobot symbol looks really good. Love the canopy. So yeah, I like this guy quite a bit. Both robot mode and vehicle mode work and are painted nicely. Whoops, as I drop him. Very cool. Like him quite a bit. Here is Over Air. Again, I like that the face is painted. A little bit of pop of yellow there. He's got a ball joint in the shoulder. He's actually got elbows, which is really just for the transformation. Ball joint in the hip. He's got knees. Again, painted pretty cool. Like him a lot. So I'm trying to remember how this goes. I think you bend it forward like this. Bring these wings down. Fold these up so that they kind of fit into the wing and kind of complete the wing, as you can see right there. Then you're going to bring the leg up, and then you're going to bring this around. Am I doing this correctly? I think so. Yes, and that will peg in there. And you can see that there's kind of like a little beveled area for the arm joint for the shoulder, which is nice. And then you just rotate this piece down. And there you go. There is the vehicle mode. Again, very nice. Love the paint. The yellow lightning bolts, the yellow canopy, little Autobot symbol, all very nice. The transformation for the sword is very simple. You just rotate this piece back up, and then you plug this piece here into that piece there. Make sure it lines up. And there you go. There's your sword. Not bad. This just pegs into the robot's fist. It's a pretty cool little sword. Very nice. Very convincing. I think it works. And then you just unpeg this and drop that back down. Starting with the Decepticons, we have the exact same two molds you just saw in Night Flight and Sly Hopper. I don't know why they didn't just call him Sky Hopper, but whatever. Love that the face is painted purple. Love this kind of tealish, dark teal color with the light blue and the gray. Really like this guy's color scheme. Transformation, exactly the same as we just saw with Over Air. Rotate that up, flip this around, peg that in, flip this around, peg that in, bring this down, and click it into place. And again, I love this color scheme. Really beautiful paint. The silver, the teal, the purple Decepticons, the purple canopy, all just really goes together perfectly. If I can get this guy to hold together a little better. I'm pretty sure this is supposed to peg into the wing as well. And I'm not getting it. That's a little better. But yeah, it reminds me of like Darkwing, one of the Power Masters. Really very cool. I love the color scheme for this guy. Next up we have Night Flight. This guy's giving me breakdown vibes as far as the color scheme goes. Red face, nice dark navy blue. He's got the same ball joint in the shoulder, ball joint in the hip, knees, toes, which we will bend down. Bring this guy around and peg the arms into the wings. And then just plop this piece down. There we go. So there you go. He's a very pearl white jet, but I love the Decepticon symbol painted there. And again, you could leave the head if you want. If you want to flip this around, you can certainly do so. And then you just take this, rock this back up, peg this in, and you have your second sword. Pretty cool. I like that quite a bit. I absolutely love the paint on this guy. This guy is up there as one of my favorites in this whole pack. And then just rock this back down. So yeah, very cool little Decepticon Micromaster Jets. Last up for the Decepticons, we have Crater Maker and Fireline. Fireline, again, really cool color scheme. I think the green and the brown work well together. The red on the kind of crotch and face also works well. A little bit of green down here. Got the Decepticon symbol on the turret there. Looks very good. So he transforms pretty much exactly the same way as Flame Wheels. I'm sorry, Wheel Blaze, not Flame Wheel. Flame Wheel is like a Mega Man X weapon. Peg that together and then just rock that back. He's got kind of a stubby little cannon, but it works. I just think the kind of really bright green with the brown is a great color scheme. I don't know why that won't stay pegged in. That's weird. Yeah, I don't know. Some of these are just not that great. So unfortunately, he will not have that arm stay pegged in. I don't know. Maybe if I hold it long enough. But yeah, so there's a little tank mode. Crater Maker. Nice color scheme. Again, great paint apps. Fold the head down in. Otherwise, you have ball joint in the shoulder, ball joint in the hip, and knees. Pretty standard for these guys. Peg the feet together. Kind of collapse the arms at the sides. Bring this down. And then bring this around. And these will kind of peg in right here. And there you go. Little missile launcher. Decepticon symbol in silver looks good. Like that the paint up here on the missile launcher. Both of these guys roll pretty well. Combined weapon mode. Again, very similar to Wheel Blaze. I'm going to get, is that right? Wheel Blaze? Yeah. I'm going to keep saying it wrong probably, so bear with me. Anyway, you're going to do this. Flip these around. Keep these pegged back in together. Rotate at the waist. This is going to come back up. Oops. And then peg into the chest. At least it's supposed to. Surprised that this guy's not really doing it either. I don't know why. It's almost like the tab isn't long enough to reach. So, but anyway, that's what you're supposed to do. I believe this bends down to become the handle. Then you take this guy, bring him around like this. This folds back out, and this flips up. And then this pegs into this. And there you go. That is the weapon. This one's actually not bad. I actually think this one works somewhat decently as a weapon. But I would say this one and the swords are probably the most successful. And there you go. So I think the 10-pack is a lot of fun. Yes, most of them are, recolors, but I think a lot of the recolors are really good. I gotta say, I think this guy's definitely my favorite. And let me get his name correct here. Sly Hopper. He's got a weird name, but the color scheme is definitely on point. He works great in both robot mode and vehicle mode. Really, all the Jets do. This guy is also Ground Shaker. Excellent color scheme. He also works really well in both robot mode and vehicle mode, and so did the other two Jets. Then I would say these guys are pretty good. Crater Maker and, let me get this right, Fireline, rather. Good color schemes, good molds. I think this mold's more successful than this one, but this one's not bad. The new guys are all right. Iron Tread's decent. I do like the little truck. There we go, get that peg back in. I think the truck works. The robot mode's decent. Really nice paint applications. The truck mode's decent. I like that the barrels flip out for the weapon mode. Recon, I wish was better. He's holding together a little bit better. But the robot mode's okay. I wish you could fold this back like onto his back more. And then Road Police is not bad, but his legs keep popping off every time I try to transform him. And then I would say, unfortunately, Wheel Blaze is probably my least favorite. The fire engine redo of this guy, it's not that great. I like the color scheme. I wish they painted his face. I mean, he's alright, but he's definitely not my favorite. I mean, none of these are terrible. I will say that. None of them are terrible. Just some are better than others. The weapon modes, I think most of them are not great. I think the swords work. I think the combination of these two guys is decent. But the other two just really not that good. But I have to say, most of the weapon modes across this line, I mean, the two race cars is the worst one by far. Luckily, since we already had a race car repaint, they did not show up in this box again, which I did not mind. But yeah, I recommend picking it up. If you like Micromasters and, you just want to get some more of these guys in various color schemes, I definitely recommend picking it up. I think they're great. I don't think you'll be disappointed. I think there's definitely fun to be had. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And as always, thanks so much for watching.